This is a small, portable, completely hand-built arcade machine, and it runs on battery power from a tablet. In this video, I'll discuss the layout and design, and then I'll show how the controller was built, and then we'll do some gameplay demonstration. It started out as I wanted to play some games from this company called Greyhound. In the early 80s, they made amusement type gambling games and also trivia and a Wheel of Fortune type game. The underside has a plexiglass bottom and it's see-through, so you can see all the wiring and controls. And for the computer and monitor, I use a Samsung Galaxy Tab. The controller is powered by the tablet and it just plugs in with a USB-C cable. I'm using the mame4droid app that you can get from the Google Play Store. I use this joystick to scroll through the games. I used a label maker to mark the buttons. Here I've got one that says insert coin. That's the coin button. And on this side, I've got two recessed menu buttons. This is to access the in-game settings so I can map the controls to each game. I didn't need a pause or escape button because if you just tap the screen, the game pauses. And if you want to unpause it, you just tap it again. And to access the exit or escape, you just tap, press this exit, get back to the menu, press it again, and it exits the app. Here we'll play a game of Joker Poker. This is that early 80s gambling game. So I have a Joker, and I'm gonna keep that card and that card. And I disregard those three cards, and then I press deal. So I got three of a kind. I got three kings. And there's a little mini game. If I press deal, there's a thing called high or low. And you can pick with either button. Oh, I lost. And to change the screen orientation, you just angle the tablet and it switches. So you can easily play games on this side, this side, this side, or this side. There's pinball buttons on each side. This is Atari Video Pinball from 1979. I use this as the ball plunger where you pull it back and then it lets it loose. And the basic control layout is I have, on this side I have an 8-way joystick that's used for games that need diagonals. And in this orientation, you can play horizontal games. And in this orientation, you can play vertical games. And the Samsung Galaxy Tab S4 runs all the games at full speed. I haven't noticed any slowdowns or lag. This is Dodonpachi. And on this side, I have a 4-way joystick that's just up, down, left, and right. This is for games like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. So you can play it in this orientation. And if you move it over this side, you can play horizontal aspect games that are 4-way. And with the controller spun this direction, you can use the 1 and 2 player and coin buttons to play track and field.
The distance 8.28 meters.
On your mark. Get set.
The time 13.57 seconds.
Here we'll play a game of Pac-Man with the 4-way joystick. Here we'll play a game of Frogger. I'll show a little segment of how the controller was constructed, and then I'll show some more gameplay afterwards. So this is what I kind of started out with. Prototype, just kind of get a feel for the button placement, the size of everything that's going to be needed. I routed out all these little spots right here. Got some recessed buttons. This is where the cable comes in. Had to route out these spots right here because there's very close tolerance. Same with this over here. To make sure all the wires fit. I did 4 coats of the purple paint, and I also painted the underside black. This is the ipac encoder, and I connect this with this USB-C to mini cable to a Galaxy S4 tab. These smaller buttons I got from AliExpress. These are Industrias Lorenzo push buttons. In my opinion, these are the best arcade buttons you can buy. I use Cherry micro switches, which are also the best. Then I have quick disconnects. I have some gripper pads that are going to go on the bottom. The joysticks are Sanwas with the cherry micro switches, and I use a vermilion ball top. In the description and comments, I'll have a component list of everything that I used. So here it is all wired up. As I've been testing games out, I've noticed with my 8-way joystick it was kind of hard to hit diagonals. And the cool thing about these Sanwa JLFs is you can adjust them. So I bought some extra parts. You can buy larger actuators. And before I ordered them, I actually took some Scotch tape and wrapped it around there, and it did help give me better diagonal movements. So I bought a 0.5 millimeter larger and 1 millimeter larger actuators. And I also bought higher tension springs. These are 2-pound springs. The stock ones are 0.9 pounds. After messing with it for a few days, this is what I ended up with. This joystick is the 4-way joystick. It's got the 4 or 8-way, and it's spun to the 4-way position. And I prefer the stock spring, and I use the 0.5 millimeter larger actuator. And with the 8-way joystick, I have a circular insert, and I use the 1 millimeter larger actuator, and I have a washer. You see that washer is right underneath the C-clamp. And it's about 1 millimeter thick, and it compresses the spring just a tiny bit, so it gives it just a little bit more tension, and it moves it down. You'll see it's got an angle. So by inserting a washer, you can fine tune the point where the actuator hits the micro switch. So I guess mine is probably like 0.8 millimeters deep. I like the lighter weight springs. So I ended up not using the 2-pound springs. I fabricated this piece of plexiglass that's going to go on the bottom. I installed some of these gripper pads on each of the 4 corners. I also took a Sharpie marker and colored the outside edge, so it's got a nice black color. And it's kind of cool because you can spin it over and look at the wiring inside, and it's nice and thin. Makes it ultra low profile. Gives it a flat surface so you can play games with it on your lap. Here's my little game room, and this is probably where I'll play this thing the most. And I have other arcade machines, and I kind of rotate them. I'll play this one day, and I'll play that one another day, and then I'll play that one. So I'll add this into the rotation. let's play a game of trivia. What makes this kind of cool is it's based on stuff before 1985. Here we'll do movies and TV. So this is like going back in time. Marilyn Monroe appeared in what Marx Brothers movie? I have no idea. But I'll say A Day at the Races. Nope. It was Love Happy. So the next question. Who played George Gershwin in the film Rhapsody in Blue? Alan Alda. Hey, I got it. Winner. Here is what popular TV series was originally sponsored by Philip Morris? I'm going to say I Love Lucy. Hey, back in the day when everybody smoked cigarettes. Another game that was really cool is they made a cocktail version of Space Invaders called Space Invaders 2. And 2 people can play at the same time. One person is on this side, and then one person is on this side. And you try to blow up the spaceships, and then also you can shoot each other as competition.